So we're looking at points on the perimeter of our structure or bubble.
We've got 3 locations where we'll put markers up around its perimeter.
Okay.
According to several different kinds of infrared LiDAR devices, there is a gigantic, invisible sphere or bubble that is centered at the triangle and has a radius of about 2,000 feet. That means it covers a huge area of the ranch where we've encountered all kinds of phenomena, like UAPs, a mysterious cloudy blob, and other anomalies in the air that we can only see with thermal cameras. And its boundaries have actually appeared to stop drones and rockets from entering it. Last year, before we knew about the bubble, we launched a rocket in this area where we had detected a strange radio frequency signal coming from somewhere up above the ranch. And on its way down, the rocket froze at a few hundred feet high for several seconds.
It looks like it's stuck there, look.
Yeah.
So, was that somehow related to the western boundary of the bubble? All right, so we're at the westernmost boundary of the bubble for this experiment. So we've got just a few minutes of daylight left, and I want to get this first launch before the sun goes down.
You know, I'll be monitoring this part of the ranch while we're doing all this. So let me get out of here and let you guys get to work.
All right, let's get to work. Let's
Set
go.
up.
Tonight, Eric and I want to see what'll happen if I launch a new rocket in that same place near the western boundary of the bubble where the other one froze last year. Well, the sun's sinking quick. Meanwhile, Pete will run his terrestrial LiDAR scanner on the ground, which is what first detected the bubble earlier this year. And Jim Royston is going to attempt to fly his LiDAR drone through the barrier of the bubble while looking out for anything strange that would otherwise be invisible to our naked eyes. All right, everybody, the rocket is going hot.
Here we go. With 5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
Look at how fast that thing's moving.
Beautiful. It's going exactly the right place.
Wow.
Oh, it's moving fast. Crap. The rocket's completely changed direction.
Hey, Thomas, I think that the rocket made a turn when it got to about
the barrier wall of the bubble over Homestead 2.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting.
It's like the bubble deflected it.
Well, the rocket didn't freeze this time, but there was definitely a point when it suddenly veered away from the believed boundary of the bubble, which is something we've seen with other rockets that got close to it. What in the world is this thing?
Are you getting good connectivity? No errors?
You got errors already. Right when you said that. Look at that. Nice. Uh-oh.
You getting errors? You losing it?
Right when I asked him, it popped
Yeah.
up on the screen.
Oh, yeah. It lost everything.
Where was it at when you lost it?
Right over the barrier.
Yeah, it was.
Unbelievable.
That's interesting.
What?
Look, I'm getting a 1.2 gigahertz signal, y'all.
We're not transmitting.
Look at that.
Oh.
Hey, Eric, you copy?
Yeah, what's up? 1.2 gigahertz is going absolutely nuts.
Copy that. I'm going to tune into that range. I'm seeing a strong 1.2 gigahertz signal. My antennas show the signal is coming from the west, somewhere near your location.
Copy that.
I wanted to see if Jim's drone, which is equipped with a LiDAR scanner, could finally get through the western boundary of the bubble and pick up infrared images of a potential invisible source of that signal. All right, let's go. I want to follow that drone over there.
So you're approaching that. See the post right there?
Yeah.
So you're not quite to the bubble yet.
Uh-oh.
There you are.
Look at this.
Be advised, I am seeing some of the GPS data corruption errors.
As he's flown out towards the edge of the bubble.
So right when you get to the bubble wall, your errors start popping up like crazy.
Well, you see that? Every time I try to push through the barrier, look what happens.
It's like it's pushing you back.
So I'm literally trying to push through the barrier, right? I'm right up against it.
He's trying to push the drone through the bubble and it won't go.
No kidding.
Yeah, look at it. It's just right there.
That is crazy. It's just stuck right there.
I'm almost out of communication here with it. I'm gonna try to get it home.
He lost all communication. He's bringing it home. Or it's bringing itself home.
That's crazy, man.
Eric, there's not much more we can do then. Why don't you head down and we'll wrap this thing up?
Copy you, Travis. I'm on my way over.
Wait till you see the data from last night's experiment.
Oh, absolutely. It was just like something stopped my drone. Literally pushing the joysticks as far forward, it would not move.
That's crazy.
So I've got the GPS tracker data for the drone. Here we see the entire flight path.
Blue points are GPS points that report back good.
So what are the orange dots?
So those orange dots represent the posts that we've put out at the edge of the bubble.
Right, I get it.
I'm gonna dive in.
Look at the red dots.
Let me rotate it. Those are error points at the edge of the bubble.
First errors is at the frozen rocket spot. And then the next big bunch of errors is right as you enter the bubble.
Wow.
This is crazy. The GPS data errors from the drone started glitching right at about the same place where our rocket froze mid-air last year. And then the GPS data was completely corrupted when Jim's drone bumped up against the invisible barrier of the bubble. It's like a literal wall that stops both entry and data collection. What the crap?
Next, I'm gonna ask you to walk us through some of the video from the drone perspective.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Guys, you're not gonna believe this. This is from right when you got stuck along the bubble barrier.
I mean, obviously something looks wrong with this. I'm seeing a horizon that's,
Why don't you freeze it first, Eric?
okay,
Now, Jim, why don't you go up there and tell us what it all means?
yeah.
Here, this is the indicator right here, though. My radio control is having problems. So the controller that I'm using is having trouble talking to the drone.
Something's interfering electromagnetically with the drone. At that same time,
We see that bundle of red GPS error points.
All right, and then the H is what?
This is my home. Every time I leave the ground, before I take off, it registers a GPS home point. And it also tracks my distance to that point. So it knows if anything happens, how to get right to home.
so Jim, is this a good time to let this continue to play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play it.
Look at the home, how it's going everywhere. It's even up in the sky.
Oh,
How did
that's
home ever
crazy.
get in the sky?
The drone's stuck, but yet it's thinking the home point's changing.
At this point, the drone doesn't know where the hell it is.
Yeah.
Let me play it again. Watch this number. This is how far the drone currently is from its takeoff location, from home.
Look here, that says 850 feet.
Which is pretty accurate.
What the hell?
So he's coming backwards.
Something pushed it backwards to 645.
Did it get pushed back 200 feet?
Yeah, so let's play that again.
As we're reviewing last night's camera data from Jim Royston's drone, it appears that the western boundary of the bubble pushed the drone backwards about 200 feet in just a couple of seconds. That's not at all what we saw in the moment. Is this the dang Twilight Zone? What pushed the dadgum drone 200 foot backwards?
That is not wind.
No, there's no way.